All right, do the clap. 3, 2, 1. I heard someone drop something. Who did it? Who's the dummy? Who did it?
I don't know.
Own up. Who dropped something? No one's speaking, huh?
A hot
No one wants to fess up. Is that how we're gonna play this? All right, I see you guys. See, we're dealing with some sabotage. All right.
Do your stupid intro.
All right.
Espionage.
All right. Working title podcast. Okay, get in the zone. Wow.
The auto zone.
Auto zone.
Get in the zone, the auto zone.
Auto zone.
All right, I am now a car and I'm driving away. Goodbye.
Start the fucking podcast.
All right. 3, 2,
Alex
1.
has started.
Oh my God! Stop speaking.
He just counted down.
This is cancer. All right, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Working Title Podcast because we are too stupid to think of a good name for this podcast because we're not creative people. Anyways, we are joined here today by, I'm just going to go down the Discord list. We're here with Wimpy Kenny.
Yeah.
We're here with, I'm not saying your normal name. We're here with Mini Lagger. Hello?
Oh,
all right. Okay, moving on. Okay, you don't exist anymore. And we're here with Hexus.
My name's Sans Undertale, and I love pizza.
All right. Why do you love pizza? We'll get into pizza maybe later. I don't know. Well, we're here with Willow Cat.
I'm only here because of obligation. Someone help.
All right, you'll have to take that up with human resources, except he's not here with us right now. As he decided to play Rocket League. But okay, that's okay. We're here with what? Do you want to just be called Jared or something? What do you want to be called? Buddy?
Yeah. Nate's skipping out of a video game podcast to play video games.
What a mad lad.
I'm chill with it.
He's more dedicated than any of us.
He's doing his research.
He's doing research. I don't know why he's playing Rocket League of all games, but that's his decision.
I didn't hear what Jared said.
He didn't.
He just said Jared. I just said
Jared's Jared.
Jared's just Jared.
I don't care. People online can know my name. It
doesn't mean anything because the internet is fake. And we are here with Penguin, who is a bird that can't fly.
I shoutcast CS:GO with collegiate esports.
Terribly. Sorry, someone say something.
Stop shilling for yourself, asshole.
What's your name, Tyler?
Tyler.
I wonder. Did you just say something?
Oh, do you not want us to refer to each other by real names?
I don't care. Really? I never said that.
No,
I just heard. Did you say something? You kind of said something that I was supposed to say. I feel like you're taking my role. Hey, my voice broke. That's pretty cool.
Hey guys, speaking of video games, Don't Starve Together event is on now.
It is.
What? All right, can we kick this person out? Like, do we even need her here?
Let's just kick this off instead.
All right.
Let's just
what are we doing? What are we doing today? You're probably wondering that. We're probably already 8 minutes into the intro and we haven't realized what the heck's going on. You probably already read the title, but we're doing video gaming. Specifically, what the heck is your favorite video game to play and why is it that? Like, what part of your brain made it so disgraceful decision in order to like that game the best? Like, are you even kidding me?
Remains for recording for 10 hours and 51 minutes.
I have 180. Get on my level. 180 hours. You are freaking peasant tier compared to me. All right.
This is funny because we already went over
who
our
left?
favorite video games.
What the heck is
in
happening?
the fucking hot ones.
Why are you people leaving? Oh my god. All right. Anyways.
Clicked on another voice channel on accident.
Good job.
Awesome.
So, we're gonna start by going down the list here. We're gonna start off with Wimpy Kenny, and he's going to discuss. What?
Me?
What? Yeah,
Me?
you. You're starting off. What's your favorite video game?
A sigh of regret.
Damn. That game made by 2K, that game made by Gearbox, the game that I'm waiting to be released, the game that I'm annoyed with, the game Borderlands.
A non-released game.
How is it non-released? Are you fucking kidding? You mean
Borderlands 3.
Borderlands 3. That's my favorite game. I definitely know what it is. Oh, okay, everyone's gone.
What the fuck?
Hold on, what? They're all
Do you think
gone.
we should start this over?
No, who just leaves? Like that's
What
just
the
stupid.
fuck?
We definitely didn't plan this before you to troll you.
No,
or
this
anything.
entirely wasn't planned.
Yeah, definitely not planned, and we said it like 2 minutes ago, but nobody looked in the
What
chat.
the fuck
Well,
is
I
wrong
looked
with you
and then
guys?
no one else is leaving, so I hesitated.
Yeah, because you all are dumb.
Oh shit, it's me!
What do you mean?
I was about to mention the group, it was just like, you just completely ruined this. Also, hi, Dave.
Oh, he showed up.
We're here
Oh,
with
he
Hush
showed
the
up.
Bomber,
Showed up.
and he's actually
Instead of playing
here.
fucking Rocket League.
I'm not here.
All
I
it's
was
showed
alright,
up.
listen, a friend of mine hit me up from way back and I had to play with them. Okay.
Alright, you know
Yeah,
what?
you
Fair
could
enough.
you could have
Friendship,
done it
yeah.
5 hours later. Friendship
No,
fucking
because
blows
they were at
compared to video games.
So no, I couldn't have. So
Stop
fuck
talking
you.
to French
Kill
people.
yourself.
I'll hang you.
We don't want French people.
I
watching
Sounds
this
fun.
podcast.
Sorry, that's incorrect. You should have said, "I'll hang to you."
I'll hang.
Shut
Fuck
the
you,
fuck
Willow. Fuck
Get out
you,
of here.
Willow.
We don't want you here.
This is the second time you've proposed to be evicted from this podcast. Can you, like, stop?
It's okay, she
Anyways.
deserves it.
Yeah, she
So, Wimpy Kenny, I just
Yeah,
say
Kenny
Kenny,
likes
screw
border
this.
shit.
He like borderlands.
Border shit?
Abolish the
Damn.
borders?
Yes.
What?
Poo in lieu.
No.
Imagine there's no countries.
And just like
It
that,
isn't hard to do.
Man, this is a shit show.
Yeah. honestly.
I
What
thought
you
this was gonna be
expect?
as soon as it happened. Yeah.
Does
Does anyone have anything to say about Borderlands? Because I honestly think it was pretty good. Like I'm not a big fan
It
of
was
like
alright.
those kind of
Nate,
games,
Nate,
but
let
it
me
was pretty
express
chill.
your opinion shit.
Hey, let me
And
express
Kenny's right.
that your life is shit.
It wasn't that bad.
Jason has
That's
been
only
on
half
that.
debatable.
That's only half true.
Not debatable.
It's mostly wrong.
You're wrong.
Okay.
How about fucking Kenny tells us what's so good about Borderlands? 'Cause
Yeah, what's so good about Borderlands? Because I'm getting bored of the side conversation that some
Give me
people are having
Borderlands
for
in the
some
side
reason.
conversation.
Whoa, what?
If we want to
Borderlands is a side conversation. Is that all it's
Speak.
worth to you?
Oh my fucking god.
if we want to keep doing a podcast, we have to set up a rule that only one person can talk at a time.
No.
So that makes it terrible. Because then there's
No,
no arguing.
5 people
It makes
fucking
it
respond.
impossible to fucking listen to.
That's the point. We don't want people to listen to
All right,
this.
Kenny, speak. This is your time to shine.
I am speaking now currently about that game Borderlands that I'm
You
getting
bitch,
very annoyed
talk.
about. I am.
It's just because they're not
talking.
announcing anything.
Yes, that is annoying me.
Yeah.
Who,
So
who
as-
even
at the
teased?
time-
Like, didn't
at
you
the-
say there was like
Come on.
gonna be something announced at like the Game Awards this year or something?
PAX East possibly.
So for
When's
context, we are currently recording this before Borderlands or with Borderlands 3. Some stuff has been leaked and people are talking about it. Because of that,
the new characters and everything.
Yeah. basically the characters have been leaked and the game's been leaked and basically fuck you, Gearbox. Stop making shift codes.
Yes. Basically. For 2
So yeah.
games.
2
Yeah.
games.
So
what,
yeah,
what are
Border-
shift codes?
But so shift codes basically give you golden keys, which allow you to get special loot. Except they're stupid. They stopped giving them out a while ago and use cheat engine to get them now.
No, they still give them out.
Yeah, you can use cheat
Oh, I
engine
think
to
I remember that.
fail you.
Yeah.
You can
And
do
it's
that
not
with
VAC
anything in the game.
authenticated. Yeah.
No, it's not because it's
I mean,
not
the loot
a
kinda sucks
Valve
from
made
it,
game.
but-
Yeah, no, the loot sucks
Or
for
Valve
those.
managed. Yeah, basically.
I think the last time I played Borderlands was like a year ago. I could probably check on like Steam or something, but I don't know
You
if I
could
care
check on
enough.
Steam because the
Tyler,
game is
you
in
said
fact
you
on
didn't
Steam.
like the game.
Yeah,
Tyler doesn't like a lot of
yeah,
games. Tyler
I
on
don't
the
like a
PlayStation
lot of
novel.
games.
You would be
No,
right.
I don't.
Like CS:GO.
Was that a segue?
Oof.
CS.
Yeah, was that a
It's not.
segue? Moving
not 'cause you're
down
next.
to Mary Dead Head I fuck Alex.
James isn't in this.
Video?
James
Oh,
isn't in our
why
call.
am I going?
Because you're next on the list.
You're next on
Do you
the
know how
list.
to read
Your mom's
downwards?
next on the list when you
Just-
attack.
Whoa.
Next to Santa's, actually next to Santa's sleigh because we're going up now. So Santa's sleigh, what do you got to say about that? Great game. Let's move on. Mary Deadhead. Sorry, you know what? You go, Alex. Just have fun. Go.
I guess Metal Gear. Just any Metal Gear game is the most
Alright,
fun
why?
thing in the
Why
world.
are we
What
still
about the
here?
one on the Japanese PC?
What about the zombie
You
one?
like that one, right?
Oh, that is such an amazing game. 10
I've
out of
never
10.
played Metal
I'm
Gear,
really
so I really
glad
can't say
that
anything.
everyone
Okay, I
who
bought it,
worked
so
on the
Alex should
originals
play it on
worked
my
on that one too.
What about the plot twist?
I feel like
Especially
you
the
might have a bit of
director behind
sarcasm.
everything. It would be a real shame if they fired the director for all the original games and
Why do I
then
hear a bit of
didn't let him
sarcasm?
accept the award for one of his best games. That'd be a real shame.
Then he made a game about babies living inside normal.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think?
It's a good game.
And then they drove him to insanity.
Is that
Yeah.
Silent Hill or Metal Gear? The one where one of the endings is
Silent Hill. It's Resident Evil.
Isn't Silent Hill that
No,
one like
Silent
butterfly
Hill,
effect
isn't it?
game?
Sure.
No,
There's
that's
a dog in
Indigo
one of the
Prophecy.
Yeah,
No, it's like a
Silent-
horror game that
No,
we
That's
go
the
into like a
Indigo
forest.
Prophecy.
Is it?
Until Dawn. That's
Silent
Until
Hill.
Dawn.
Until
Sorry,
Dawn.
Until
That's what it
Dawn.
was. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Indigo
of.
Prophecy is something different. My bad.
Indigo Prophecy.
Silent Hill
movie,
was
isn't it?
Silent Hill was insane.
What?
It's a great game.
No,
it-
it's not a movie, but it's
is it
made
not?
by director David Cage.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Because David Cage is
Oh.
a fucking weird Frenchman that likes
Fuck
to make
David Cage.
weird ass
Fuck you.
games.
Fuck
Willow, you
French.
love his games. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but I hate
You
him.
rave about his games.
I hate him though.
Don't hate
Yeah,
the
he's a
player,
fucking
hate the
cunt.
game.
He does make good games though.
Or the
like
developer,
Fahrenheit, whatever
whatever.
it was. He made the origami killer game, whatever the fuck that's it.
Or a
Sean,
Garmy Killer?
Oregon Trail.
That's
Sean!
how you are.
Sean!
Tommy?
Heavy
That is
Rain.
a good video. What
Where's my
what
son?
playlist was like?
you
That just
sure?
reminds me
I'm
of
gonna
the
lose my
important
son in the
videos
mall
playlist.
and then have him get hit by a car.
What?
I
What?
agree.
I've never played any of his games. What do you mean I rave about them?
We've talked about this before. I swear.
I think I've said how I like Beyond Two Souls'
Yeah,
like,
that was what
combat,
it
but
was.
other than
Did
that,
I hear Dark Souls?
Beyond Two Souls is alright.
Nani?
yeah, it's pretty okay.
All right.
Don't talk to me
speaking
about Dark
speaking
Souls
of Dark
in the
Souls,
game
moving on to someone who
podcast.
hates the game because he can't play it because his computer doesn't like controllers. Alex.
Well, I could play the original Dark Souls.
Install
I
DS4
just
faggot.
don't. That's
I can't. I'll be honest. I'm gonna be the
Fucking
first to say
update
this.
your
I cannot
drivers.
wait for this section to happen. Let's
yeah.
move on to Hexus.
This-
Oh boy,
this is
I'm
awesome.
excited. What's happening?
Tyler, the candid
Yeah.
excitement is getting old.
Canada
But
excitement.
you know what? I am actually excited because as a background for my game, I have to start
boy.
with the definition of art. Okay,
Everyone
so
go
art
get your popcorn.
is- my definition of art, and anybody can quibble with
Pause
this.
the podcast now
is
and go get some
something-
popcorn because this will be a while.
All right, okay. So it's something created by a human that
No,
its primary. Oh, you want to fucking fight?
already
okay.
wrong.
All right.
I think
okay.
animals can create art.
Okay, like what?
Have you
Like a
seen
bird's
that
nest?
elephant, dude? No, have
A
you
bird's
seen
nest?
the
I say
elephant?
that's
Okay.
pretty. That's
Bro,
pretty.
That,
you-
what that
you-
one elephant
Yeah.
that used to
Okay,
paint
well, you have
things?
to wait.
Okay.
You have to wait for my fucking definition
Yeah,
before you
let's
butt
not
in with
finish
your
that.
shit.
But you're
Okay,
wrong.
so
My dad has a painting from that elephant.
I'm literally not even done with.
Isn't
the
it like
definition.
in
What about
You guys
the
are
microphone?
already
like die
shitting
or
all
something?
Oh
over
my
it.
god.
I just said created by a human. You guys proceed to fucking say, "What about that one monkey who shit on the floor?" And like, fuck you. I hate
Yeah, what about
you.
that monkey that could paint buildings, dude?
No, that's what you are, a fucking monkey.
That's just called a black
Anyway.
spray paint.
Hey!
Whoa! Keep that out of the podcast.
And right off the bat,
We don't want people to know.
No.
I,
Right,
as
like-
your editor, am
That's
going
just-
to have a
That's
terrible time
that's
doing
just
this.
what you are.
Alright.
Yeah.
Stop
You're
trying
gonna
to
cut
give me
most of the
Alex,
shit
finish
out.
your stupid
Yeah.
definition.
Art is something created by a human whose primary purpose is to appeal to other humans either ideologically or aesthetically. And the reason I use aesthetic, the reason I use that definition is to differentiate for work, which is something you do for money, although art can also be work, and a game. Because a game is really a type of play you use with set rules to keep yourself stimulated. I don't.
What?
No,
Dumb.
because
Okay.
a game
A
can
play?
definitely be made in order to appeal to someone aesthetically.
Yeah, I
Like,
like what's
look
the
at-
like
No, 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 no,
Superhot's
no.
pretty cool.
Why,
I'm not-
why would people care about
I'm
the
literally
visual
not-
fidelity of
I'm
a
not
game
even
if it
talking
wasn't?
about video games right now. I'm just talking about
Are you
the
just talking
concept
about art
of a
in
game. So think of chess
Well,
or
those
like
are
a
two
tug of
completely
war.
different things, though.
That's not a video game.
Oh my fucking god! I never said video game. I said
My
game.
God,
Game.
I said a
Wait,
game.
what's this podcast about again?
video games.
That's what I'm fucking getting to. That's why I have to define
my God.
shit.
Remember
Oh
when
my
I said get
fucking
your
lord.
popcorn? Yeah, I was right.
Okay, so are you aware what fucking tug of war is?
No.
No,
We
I don't
definitely
play
didn't
sports.
play it.
Okay,
We definitely
I
didn't
can't
do it
even-
every single fucking year in school.
I'm gonna kill myself.
At the end of every fucking
Dreidel,
year.
I made it out of clay.
Okay, so you would admit that tug of war is a game. It's a type of play that's used for
Yeah, it's a bad one.
Entertainment.
for entertainment.
Alright.
It has concrete rules.
All right, good. We've
My
got that. We've got the
contention-
definition
yeah,
of a game,
yes.
boys. Here
Yeah,
we go.
The definition of art.
Didn't
the
need a
definition of
dictionary
work,
or anything. We could have
and the
done this about
definition
10 minutes earlier, but you know
of a
what? That's
game.
okay.
So, what my contention is, because art, and I think the key with all these definitions is it is a primary purpose, because a game is primarily about entertainment and maybe intellectual stimulation. I think art is primarily about its ideological or aesthetic appeal, and I think work is primarily as a means to make money. Although, again, games and art can also be a form of work.
Heck
But we
yeah.
already know
Popular
what
YouTube
we
channel.
already
Subscribe
know
to number 2000.
what work is. what I'm concerned with is game and art. So my contention is, and if you're familiar with the debate around this, you'll already know what I'm saying. Tyler, I'm gonna send you this right now, and I want you to include this in the description. It's an article by Roger Ebert, which really outlines a big portion of my argument. So my contention is that video games are not
I'll
art,
send it in the group
and will probably not be art for the foreseeable future. So here's the basis of my argument. One is that you can even look at this thing, even if you contend, even if I was to say that games somehow did have a potential to be as artistic as something like a movie or literature or a speech, you could make the argument that games have not lived up. Think about it this way, okay? So take the greatest poets, Whitman, Milton, T.S. Eliot, people like that. You could take
Monica
the greatest
from Doki Doki.
composers. Yeah. Take the greatest composers, like Beethoven and Mozart, the greatest novelists. All those people, and think of a single video game designer, producer, anything who has even
Gabe Newell
come close to living up to that standard. That is worthy of being
David Vonderhaar.
That's a shout.
Okay.
That's a shout.
That's
actually
He's
pretty
the
shout,
lead
yeah.
director. He's the lead director of
I think
Black
the issue
Ops.
with that argument is that
No,
not
Activision.
guys.
Treyarch.
I think the issue with that
Brotherhood.
argument is that
Close
not
enough.
enough game developers have had their works in place long enough for them to become
I think the problem is that it's so the
To
game
that
is so
regard-
saturated compared to what music was and art back then. There's a lot of people doing it still, but it's not everyone can see it. Only a certain amount of people, and then they just write it down because
and also
things.
art and music were around for thousands of years.
No, and here's why I disagree. And exactly, I'm glad you brought that up. Because my favorite medium of art are movies. And movies haven't actually been around for that long. They've been around since the 1880s.
Yeah,
I'd say
that's still 200 years.
That's the
almost.
early. Wait,
Little
I'm
over
not
100.
fucking done. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
All right, calm
So
down.
they've been around since the 1880s, and it took really Edison was one of the first directors. He really made the first movies with the fucking Indian Man of it, that shit. So, but his you can watch them. They're 1 minute movies. They're shit, and their only interest is of historical value. They basically have no artistic value of their own. Sort of like
I got
something
a question.
like Pong. Sure, go ahead.
How does this pertain to video games?
He's getting there.
It's a very long argument.
I think that the point Alex is trying to make is that is the equivalent to where video games are in that it's not refined enough.
Right. Okay. So if we compare movies and video games, it's like the Edison days of making I'm sure at least some of you are familiar with the really it's the first movie of a horse running. Probably look it up.
Yeah.
At least one of you is familiar. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's comparable to the radar games that the military designed or some shit. Whatever the first video game was, right?
It was.
And so those.
I can't remember. Some weird.
It definitely
box
wasn't
shit.
Pong.
No, it wasn't.
It was on the Magnavox Odyssey, wasn't that the first game
I
console?
don't.
No,
it was
it was an
console,
arcade. It was an
but they
arcade
made-
machine,
Yeah.
and it was like a starship shooter thing. It was geometric.
Galaga?
But
Nah,
no, Galaga's was later. Galaga's was like.
That's the only space shooter
This
I know
was. This
Hey,
was
asshole,
I can't
We
remember.
have
the name of it.
fucking Google
Yeah, I'm
for a
looking it up
reason.
right now.
Yeah. Go.
Alright,
It doesn't
anyway,
really
continue.
matter. But the
Yeah.
point is that, like, within about like 10 or 15 years, we already had auteurs in the filmmaking business. I mean, I can't pronounce his name. It's fuck anything French, but Georges Méliès, that guy created fucking A Trip to the Moon before 1900, I believe. In addition, and you know, film sort of evolved in France, but you also had American movements like D.W. Griffith was doing shit. Who also created Birth of a Nation, which is a film classic. I mean, he was making movies, great movies. I mean, if you watch some of his movies, they're really just sort of a recreation of literature. I mean, he was doing great shit before like the 1910s. My point is that movies, unlike video games, like movies definitely took a long time to get recognized as like a medium. But my point is that I don't think the comparison is fair, because the way I see video games, it's a game, right? We can go back to our definition of what's a game, what's not a game, and it's through a different channel. It's on an electronic medium. For films, it didn't take that long for there to be actual auteurs. And you know, how long have video games been around? Let's say
Like 1950s, 1940s.
About let's say 35 years. You could say 40.
Wikipedia
actually.
says history of
the
video games. The
very
earliest is
first-
1948. Also, is
Well,
the game called
let's-
Space War?
Let's start.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
start at the 70s.
I think Pong
So
or like
about-
tennis
about
for
40
two / Pong is still
or
the
50 years.
first
I
one.
think in film, if you go 40 or 50 years, the 20s and 30s, you could definitely find tons of
Metropolis.
directors. I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah, you can
was
do
easy.
that now. Like people like David Vonderhaar, the people at Valve, like Gabe Newell, people like that. You can
Unfortunately.
still they're still
Tom
like on the
Howard.
same level.
I'm for-
yeah,
Todd
him.
If we're talking about
Howard, yeah.
auteurs, David Cage.
Jeff,
but he's
Why
what's
not-
the, Jeff
Oh,
from the
yeah,
Overwatch
okay,
team.
you
I don't
guys,
remember what his name
you guys
is.
are
but-
gonna have to mention specific games instead of developers.
Alright,
So,
well,
like,
David
Cage made
Vonderhaar
heavy-
does
I hate you, Tyler. You
Activision,
shit.
so
I'm not
COD.
gonna shut up until you shut up.
David
Yeah, you-
Vanderhaar does COD. Todd Howard does the Bethesda games, so like Fallout
Okay,
and
no,
all that shit.
my point
Then
is
Jeff from the
not-
Overwatch team. That's
My
what
point is not that there are not
None of
big
them are
names in the
auteurs.
gaming business. My point is that they are not big names in overall culture in general. I don't think they're
Well, yeah,
going
video
to
games
be,
aren't big in culture.
exactly.
I mean, it's
and that's
gaining
my
because of Fortnite, but besides that,
well, that's
nothing.
my point. Really, is that they haven't managed to do anything on the cultural level of and movies had been around. I mean, there are culturally influential movies from the 1900s, from 1910s. So we really should have expected a culturally influential, and I don't just mean influential,
Oh,
because like
now
Pac-Man
you
is
mentioned that.
influential.
What
But
about
it's
like
not-
people like Shigeru Miyamoto who do Mario?
I
Mario's pretty influential. Like everyone knows who that is.
That's why I wanted to differentiate. It's not really influential. It's would you put Mario in like? Okay, so you guys, do you guys know what the Western canon is?
No, I guess.
Okay,
No.
I'll explain it briefly. Western canon is basically just a somewhat informal list of all the greatest Western works of art. So like the Sistine Chapel, Leaves of Grass, music like the Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, you know, shit like that.
Okay.
Shit that is like considered
European?
the great. It can be European. It's sometimes
Seems
American.
like it's mostly more. Okay. Yeah. So like
European
not from
and
like
American.
Asian cultures.
Yes, it's a Western
Okay.
canon. The important part isn't the Western part. The important part is the canon part. That these are the highest works of civilization. I dare anybody to think of a game that would belong there that's appeal is not in its like historic value, but for its cultural value. I don't think there is one, and I'll give you an example.
I
So
might say
if I were
Mario.
to, if I were okay, that's a good example. I would have said Pac-Man. So as an example,
That's
if I
true.
were
Yeah,
to
that's
ask
pretty good.
an avid gaming
An
fan,
avid
right?
gamer. Come on, you got to use the 2018 terms.
an avid gamer, yeah, a gamer.
Gamers unite.
Yeah, they might say something like, "Oh, Pac-Man," or like Mario.
Mhm.
And so what I would say is, I think once again you have to go back to the definitions of an art and a game, and the key word of both those definitions, as I've defined them, I openly admit this. I'm using my own definitions. And therefore, if you have your own definitions, like if art is anything that appeals to you, like on an emotional
Visually.
level, then like, you know, obviously this isn't gonna work. But if we're as long as we're using my definition, I think the keyword is primarily appealing to. So a game's primary purpose is for entertainment and stimulation, and art, a piece of art, is primarily for its aesthetic or ideological appeal. And so what I would say about like Mario or Pac-Man is that their primary purpose is not. Here's the thing too, because I think games really are some of the best examples of uses of aesthetic in recent memory. But the reason I hesitate to call them art is because I think their primary purpose is for entertainment and stimulation.
I think you have to judge that by
I feel like you could, yeah, I think you could mix it. Like, I'd
okay,
say something like Undertale, like the art style is very appealing because it's like,
and that
compared to something like, I don't know, some
But
mini game.
that's actually a good, like, I would say in the case of something like Undertale, it's fuck off. It is primarily art being held up by gameplay. Whereas something like Hotline Miami is primarily gameplay being held up by art. You have to judge each game differently like that.
Okay, well, there's a couple of quibbles I have, and I'll outline one of them. There's one caveat, and that is I think that visual novels are works of art, and not really games.
I mean, it's more focused on like the art and the story. It's not really like it's not really gameplay.
Exactly,
It's
and that's
choose your own adventure book.
That's exactly
Basically.
that's my point. Is that it's while it's technically,
But then isn't every video game just a very extensive choose your own adventure book?
no,
Not
because-
really.
Depends
and
on
here's
the
why.
game. Like something like
Here's
CS
why.
is I wouldn't
Because
say
I wouldn't even consider like Ace. I love the Ace Attorney games. I wouldn't really consider them visual novels because they really are. If you like lose the game, because it's possible to lose the game, you don't go forward. The thing I like about visual novels is you pick a choice. So let's say you're like thinking about it from a traditionally gamer mindset, right? And you want to get the good gamer, the good ending, right?
You gotta get your gamer score
So, but
up.
you don't want to like cheat and look up the path to getting the good ending. So you play through it naturally, and you pick the wrong choice. So
then you
what
fall off a
happens
roof.
is, well, that could happen. But let's say, like in Katawa Shoujo, if I pick the quote unquote wrong choice with the
You fall off
Shizune
a
arc,
roof.
it doesn't. No, that's the entire game. I'm just talking about that specific arc. If I pick like the quote unquote wrong choice, the game doesn't end because. And here's a
There's
key
endings,
distinction.
yeah.
It's I don't think it's primarily about with the visual novel. It's about winning. I think it's primarily about concerned with
story.
telling a story, right?
Yeah. I
So
feel
if
you,
I'm
yeah.
if I'm playing a visual novel, not even hesitate to use the word playing. If I'm reading through a visual novel, right, and I pick the wrong choice, the story still continues because the game is concerned with. I'm concerned with reading a story, unless I'm like so stupid that I want to beat a visual novel, which is just the most retarded.
I have to
way
get
of
my
thinking.
gamer score
Yeah,
up. What do you
exactly,
mean? Stop making fun of me.
You mean why I
But-
play visual novels?
But like,
Achievements are needed.
my point is that the story doesn't end because the point is not to win. Whereas with, most games, the point is to win because it's a game. It's a form of entertainment and stimulation, and showing that you have won shows that you've become
The master. You become the Pokemon master.
And you can't have a skill at art. You can have a skill at making art, and you can maybe have a skill at like analyzing art. You can't really have a skill in experiencing any other art if you consider video games art. It's totally unique, and if you're still
you can always like beg the question: is art all unique as well? You know?
Is what do you mean?
Can I just
Like,
interject real quick and say that
stuff.
I just
Hold on,
I just
No, go
cannot
ahead,
read
Bolo.
anything by Roger Ebert because his fucking writing is so pretentious.
I disagree.
I agree with Willow.
Okay.
I don't know who that
skip
is.
it, but I can't read in depth. He's
I-
basically a famous film guy.
He is. He's
who
the
has a
most
job who's
famous.
dead.
Oh.
Yeah, he didn't have a
That's
job.
the important part. The fact.
I
he's dead.
think you guys. I think a lot of people think that. I don't really understand it.
He just
Because
sounds
like
so self-important constantly.
I don't think so.
That's what you have to be like that to get into film.
Because like okay, there are some like if you ever read his North review, he reviewed the movie North. He sounds really pompous in that one. I don't really think he sounds pompous. For example, when he talks
I'm
about
trying
movies
to
he
read
likes.
that video games can never be art thing, and it's just like
Yeah.
half of his article is just him trying to like put down this other author.
I don't think so because he never like insults. It's just step by step points. I don't know.
Yeah, but he's doing it like condescendingly. He's disproving them in a passive aggressive
I
manner.
don't think so. Read the end of the article because he talks about like other games like chess and mahjong, and he brings up a good point, which is that like, and this is something that I've always seen as weird, especially considering the whole debate about video games and art, which is like that this debate and this like concern, which is almost an insecurity, is like so prevalent among video games. Like people, chess people and mahjong people and like Go people, like while you could describe like methods of playing or the games themselves as like artful, they're not clamoring for the games to be considered as art because they're games and they recognize that. It only exists in video games. Actually,
video games are, I mean, I hesitate to say this, but in the context of like artistic fidelity, leagues more sophisticated than something like chess. With a video game, like recent, like new releases, you can have something completely photorealistic. Like look at some of the scenes in Red Dead 2, for example, and you would be, if you just painted that, someone would call it art. But if you were to take a screenshot, would it be erroneous to say that that's not art?
Okay, that's the thing.
I think.
Well,
like,
I think
don't know what
actually
you'd
a
call that.
screenshot.
I think it's like a middle
would
ground,
be
like a
art
gray
because
area or
it's not
something.
But experiencing that as it's happening isn't an artistic experience.
Yeah, and I'll explain why. Because
that makes no sense.
Yeah, well, that's why I had to fucking explain it. So Hideo Kojima, who's a very famous developer, especially Alex will know him, he created Metal Gear shits. He also doesn't think video games are art. And what he uses as an example...
a crotchety old Japanese man.
Wow, yeah, that's why I like him.
To be fair, he got locked in a room for hours on end to create video games. So
I've been locked in a room.
Good job.
Anyways.
When did you go to jail?
hold on, this is very
So,
important. Well, this is
what-
awkward. Looks like Discord has crashed unexpectedly. We have to track the error. We'll
What?
get right on it.
All
Yeah,
right, bye.
he's gonna DC.
All right. So,
Yikes.
anyways, my point is that fucking
All right, we
what's
back.
my point about Hideo Kojima? Oh yeah, he was talking about a video game, and that like art in a video game, there is art in video games. Like there's music in video games. There's like visuals in video games. If you took like a texture and removed it from the video game and you put it like in a museum, that would be art. The reason why when I'm actively playing a video game, it's not art is because one, my goal is to win and not to experience it. I mean, with the vast majority of video games.
True.
And two,
I don't think
I
that is
think
true.
so.
with
I think it
most
is.
In
video
Alex's
games.
case, it is. In Alex's case, it is.
How is it
Okay,
true?
I guess-
How is it not true in like everybody else's case?
Okay,
Okay, so-
well, see, so I'm gonna use Red Dead as another example.
All right.
When
I enjoy the game.
when I play Red Dead, I'm not like purposely trying to beat the game. I'm just doing stuff.
Okay.
You, you
that's-
enjoy the gameplay
well,
alone.
first of all,
You
that's a
spend
game
hours
where
just
you
playing
have
the
that
game.
luxury.
Yeah,
Right.
but that's true. But like, I don't think the goal of modern video games is to win. It's to experience what's in between start and finish.
Excuse
I'd
you, my
say with
gamer
the
score is abnormally low right now. I think you need to stop.
I hate
It's
you.
funny.
It's with the
We're trying to have a sophisticated debate, and Tyler's over here being a shitfuck.
With the exception of esports, I think you're right.
Yeah,
That's true.
Esports
That
is a
is true.
different
But I
category
wouldn't.
than
I
that.
wouldn't ever argue that esports in itself is art because it's
So
it's a sport.
esports are so what's the line for you guys between esports and other games?
Playing it
Well, no,
competitively at the point where you're really freaking good, so you get picked up by a team.
Well, why are
to play
esports not
competitively
art,
against
but
other
other
teams.
No,
games
no, no.
are?
I say
That's my
esports in the
question.
Because it
context.
needs to
art
have like a
gaming.
competitive factor. Like Counter-Strike has competitive in
No,
it.
I
Rocket
disagree.
League has competitive.
I disagree. I say esports in the context of the scene, like you would say NFL, football, not
What about it?
the game. I'm not classifying esports as a genre. I'm classifying it as a
Basically
know,
a sport. Like you
like
can
a
just call it
league.
like a
As a-
sport. I mean, it's
yeah,
an electronic
like a
sport. The
sport.
name, it's in the name.
Yeah,
I would say that something
game.
like Rocket League
Yeah.
is art because I mean it's pretty unique actually, like all the different tracks and everything. But the esports for Rocket League is not art because it's just
Once
not.
again, I don't think you're focusing
Artistic.
on the primary purpose of a game.
I
which is
see what
not-
you mean in that the primary purpose of something like Rocket League is to play the
Win.
game and
right.
win.
Play the game. Well, it's not even winning is a part of it, but I was going to go on to say its primary purpose is to test your skills and to entertain you. Really.
With something like that, I'd say I would agree, but I also think that if art is used as a way to enhance and hold up the experience of a game, then that game in and of itself is art.
I don't see your logic there. Do you mind elaborating?
Alright, in about 5 minutes, wrap this up because we gotta keep moving on with the free shit. We've been on this
That
topic
is
for a
true.
while.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
like a
I was
I
about
haven't
to
even-
move on to
I
the
haven't
next
even
topic.
got
I know,
to
that's
my-
why,
Into this
that's
game.
why I'm
I
saying
haven't
keep, like...
Yeah, I was
haven't even
about
got to my
to say
track
Alex should
yet.
go into his game like after you guys are like.
Anyways,
I'm so okay. It's hard to explain with Rocket League because that's the subject we're on. But
well, use anything.
okay. So we'll
Easily.
say Dark Souls for example.
Okay,
Dark Souls
sure.
is the main point of Dark Souls is that it's hard, and you're supposed to keep going, and it's just hard, and that's it. You know, you're supposed to win. But the whole reason Dark Souls is such an amazing experience is because of the art and the atmosphere and the sound mixing and everything. And I'd say that because of all the effort put into it like that makes it art.
So, all right, let me try and dilute it. So, what you're saying is without, so take away
Even if
the
its
art,
primary purpose
it would
is
not
not
be-
art. Even if its primary purpose isn't art, it still is art because of its foundations. Art being its foundation.
I think that's too broad of a definition because here's my example. So let's say I make a chessboard out of glass. So let's think about chess as an abstraction, and there's pawns, kings, whatever. They're black or white. They're on a checkered board. That's the abstraction. So let's say I make out of that a glass, board, or something like that. And now let's take Dark Souls. So structurally or abstractly, it's I'm not sure what genre it is, right? But it's like an adventure game where you go from boss to boss, something like that, right? But so with this chessboard, I've made it out of glass. I've added some, cool stuff or something like that. That's still.
I think I see what your point is.
Yeah,
and I think
that chessboard is different from the abstraction, but that doesn't make it not a game, and that's my point with Dark Souls.
I see what you mean, but I think like comparing it like that is too what's the word I'm looking for?
Disingenuous?
Not disingenuous. It's not
accurate.
The experience of a video game is so much more deep, like, and involved than, oh, this is a cool chessboard.
I disagree. As somebody who plays, chess and Go, I disagree. But all right, I mean, that's opinion. Anyways,
so go on to your game now.
Yeah. So what? Well, I want to talk a bit for the future of video games as art.
Make it brief then, Jesus.
Oh my god, 5 minutes is fine. I need like 2. So
okay,
I think the reason why video games aren't art is because of their lack of primary appeal, ideologically or aesthetically. So I think in the future, like if we want video games to be art, the primary goal as in the visual novel has to be aesthetic or ideological appeal. And yeah, that I can't see any other way to cross that line between game and art. So my favorite game, that thing that could be considered a video game, is Katawa Shoujo. Bam.
Nice guitar.
Thanks.
Yeah, I really don't have.
Fucking called this like
What if
3 hours
a video game was made with the primary purpose of being art by its author?
What if it wasn't, but it's still interpreted as art?
How would it go about that, though?
Well, it's just like an interactive. At its base, video games are just an interactive media. So
sure,
if you were to make something, say like Undertale, where art is the primary, like, reason it exists,
I wouldn't say that it is though. I think art makes Undertale different from a game that is. So let's say Undertale had the same combat system as Pokemon, just for a weird example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Pokemon doesn't have a combat system.
For me, oh my god, I just said, all right, whatever. Well,
yes, it does.
It does have a combat
system.
system.
Anyone.
You do. You battle. Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna kill myself. That is definitely a combat system, Tyler.
Autistic.
Okay. Anyways, my point is that really, what Undertale is doing is it's just a reskin. If we have it, the same system as something else. Now, the thing that makes Undertale unique is its combat system. I played some of it, and it's fucking weird.
Is it the combat system? I mean,
I'm pretty sure I haven't seen it in another game. If you have another fucking
no. The combat system is unique, but that's not what makes Undertale unique.
I think it's.
Have you finished the game to completion every route?
Nope.
Then you wouldn't understand. Never mind.
Okay, but why don't you fucking explain it to me like
I'm pulling
a
that argument.
Stupid. Oh, I'm Roger Ebert's pretentious. Oh yeah.
Explain I'm 5.
The way the game works, there's points to it that will only make sense if you've actually played through it.
Played it, yeah. If you played the game, you would understand.
From a game theory view, it's like, oh, game theory, shut up, it's game theory. They still pointed out that there's different
me
paths,
translating it through voice wouldn't do it justice or explain it properly.
Yeah, you have to play the game to understand exactly what they're trying to
accept this argument.
It's like a huge argument. You cannot describe it.
Good, but sometimes it's hard to argue the film's just good on its own, so you just say go watch the movie. You'll understand.
Yeah, you have to watch.
No, because I could explain it and I wouldn't resort to an esoteric
you could.
argument.
I think I could probably explain it if I were to sit down and write out an article about it. But
okay,
just off the top of my head on voice,
okay, fair enough. Well, why don't you do that? Anyways,
God.
My point is, I don't really have anything to say about Katawa Shoujo because I mean, at its base, the art's not that great. It's just a really good story.
I mean, it was made quite a while ago, or a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's two-dimensional.
I'd argue the way the game directly looks like that doesn't actually affect it that much, but yeah.
Well, some of it, but not enough to prevent it to me from being my favorite game. And just because it's a really good story, I could explain why, man, to write it all out.
Then write an essay and we'll put it in the comments.
I could explain why, but I've wasted all your time. So unless anybody really wants to hear, I won't move on to Will.
No, we'll move on. I just want to take a moment to say we are currently sitting at somewhere close to 44 minutes. Yeah, 45 minutes basically. Like so nice job, Alex. All right,
you wasted 38. You wasted a half an hour.
How did I waste anything? How did I?
You could have just said Kentaro Shoujo and explained it rather than explaining what
because I wanted to talk about video games. I didn't just want to say what my.
We go after. We can do that all after we all explain our favorite video game. You didn't have to do that in the middle.
I might put description codes for like favorite games or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, do that, Tyler. All right, Willow.
Fuck.
Good job,
okay,
Jared.
So, no, my favorite game, honestly.
That's a weird game.
It's a hard 50-50 split between Final Fantasy 12 and Osu, and I just can't decide.
Now let me explain why you're wrong with Os. First of all, you pronounce it
Osu.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Kill yourself.
So that's how the game pronounces it.
Click the circle.
It is Os.
It's Os.
I say Osu because I hate you.
Welcome to Os.
Well, I said Os, and then all you Oses just bitched at me every time I did it, and now you do it, so I just fuck you.
Well, I won't bitch at you because Osu sounds better. It's like Gyro.
No,
Hero.
It's Hero. Fucking idiot.
No.
Hero. Just come on. Remember the John Trump video.
It sounds.
Oh crud! I just dated the video. No.
All right.
It's a gyro.
What I'll say is that, like, I guess, not really going back to what I was saying. I'm kind of surprised that you picked Us because it seems to me more of a game that relies on its mechanics rather than its artistic or anything else like that. So here's an example. Like your other pick, I don't know shit about Final Fantasy 12, but it seems to me like that game has a lot more aesthetic and appeal with its story.
Definitely.
Us is definitely not like that.
They're polar opposites.
Right, exactly. So
but I just really love the gameplay of Os.
You just really, wow.
I just want to say, narrator's watching the Titanic sink in real time on his stream.
What the fuck?
I don't know why.
All right, podcast is over, boys. We gotta go watch that.
Yeah, bye. Bye, y'all.
I don't know. I'm just kind of surprised because I don't think a lot of other picks, like I would have picked Minesweeper, for example, and I don't think any other picks will be like very mechanical gameplay other games. So if you just really like it, then I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, the question is favorite game, not favorite artistic video game.
Well, sure.
My favorite autistic video game is Mark.
He's not even on the podcast to defend himself, you monster.
Good. Don't give him a platform.
He could come on the podcast to defend himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on your podcast. All right,
we had to save that for the fetish cast.
Oh my god.
All right, Jared.
It's gonna happen.
All right, Jared.
No. Wait.
No, what?
I want to do that.
I have a question. I have a question about.
Oh my god. Answer your freaking question. Do the question.
Yeah. Can you explain like briefly Final Fantasy 12 to me?
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, I didn't even realize you asked that. Okay, so Final Fantasy 12 is basically an ARPG where it's a Final Fantasy game.
I thought you said it was a game, not an explosive.
Fuck off. The whole experience is the large overarching story. For the era, it was released.
When did this come out?
Visuals, 2000.
It was on the PS2.
FF12 release date. It came out in 2006.
Okay.
And so for the time it came out, it was very visually impressive, and it still pretty much is.
Yeah, I also like things that stand the. Here's the thing.
I think it does stand the test.
What I found about video games is that
you upscale it.
There's a video about this that I might also find to send to Tyler to put in the description. But like here's an example. Take like Wind Waker, which is a game that's graphics definitely stand up because it's a unique aesthetic, and then take something from a time that's like a Modern Warfare or Call of Duty, probably looks like shit now, honestly. Just because
it's so bland.
They failed to achieve a superior aesthetic and
it's kind of like how
relied on technical fidelity, but it didn't.
It's kind of like what are like the Lara Croft games or like Super Mario 64 when 3D stuff came out. It was like crazy. Like but now it's just like, oh wow.
Lara Croft also.
I mean, like Super Mario 64 is still pretty good. Like it still even looks good. Like it's just nostalgia, like I guess. Anyways, yeah. So you're good, Will? That's everything for you?
Yeah.
All right, Jared.
You cheated. It's supposed to be best game, you slut.
You cheated. You said like 800,000 words before you said Katawa Shoujo.
Dude, I was able to play 2 Battlefield games.
Okay,
come on.
I've been playing Yakuza and I just did 2 missions in like a chapter while you guys were talking. All right, like
I've been watching narrators see the Titanic sinking.
All right, sure. Speaking of Jared talking, Jared.
Fuck you.
What is your favorite game?
My favorite game is Yakuza. All right, like
is that a super long one?
Which one?
Okay, that's a hard choice for me, but I like the whole actual like.
Okay.
The whole series as a whole, the Yakuza can't pronounce it. Kiwami is one of the best ones in my personal opinion for me. It gets me go. It's a great game. It's aesthetically pleasing. The tattoos in it, like the whole art style of Japan and everything like that, is great. And how the Yakuza tattoos are, and how they actually mean something in this culture, like they're supposed to be. As a whole, it's a great system. It's a great game.
I've only heard things about
I've never played it, so I can't really like say much about it.
No, I'm thinking. Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of fucking. I forgot. It's some other. No, I had to look up. I had to look up what the Yakuza games look like because I was thinking of something else. It can be pronounced Yakuza, right?
It's Yakuza.
Yakuza.
Yeah, Yakuza.
You know, Yakuza.
No,
I wouldn't say
not Yakuza. It's Yakuza.
I wouldn't
the correct pronunciation for those 3 Japanese characters is Yakuza.
No, but then it's like how you're supposed to pronounce it.
Well, if you're a dumbass American, yeah.
No.
I am a dumbass American. I'll say Yakuza.
All right, that's good, Jared.
Yeah, that's me.
All right, next.
I'm realizing how my.
Yeah, you realize you said a whole bunch, didn't ya?
Yeah,
you wasted our freaking time.
It's alright. I can go on. I can go on for a bit with mine. I won't go on explaining why video games aren't art or something stupid, but I can go on about
something stupid.
So before anything, I gotta say this isn't a much surprise for you guys because I've said this a bajillion times. Cave Story personally is my favorite game. It was a game that was released originally on the Wii, which then has been exported to a bajillion things, came to PC recently. And I have to start this off by saying, this is also going to be linked in the description. I'm going to post it for the rest of you if you really want to look at it.
Alrighty.
This is here's an article I have bookmarked that I've referred back to many times. It is written by Jim Sterling.
Why Cave Story is the worst video game
I think
this will be fun.
Do you actually not know who Jim Sterling is?
That's why I'm asking.
Oh,
I'm not a video game person.
He's a gonzo video game journalist.
Yeah,
we could tell by your stupid.
Let me explain why. I'm not going to explain. I'm just going to state this is the shittiest article I've ever read. So feel free to go through and read why. And by that I mean all of the arguments he makes are really stupid.
Is it against
the
Cave
graphics
Story?
and movies are bad.
Yeah,
the story
it's
is
why
awful.
the name of it is why Cave Story is the worst video game ever. So let me just go down and address these points bit by bit before I say my thing. First of all, the graphics and music are shit. The argument he makes is that it's not a beautiful game like what you see nowadays. It's styled like to look like older games.
Let me look it up.
It's also like the music. Honestly, the original soundtrack isn't phenomenal. There's a remastered. There are 3 soundtracks that exist. The original remastered, which is by far the best and one of my favorite. There's some phenomenal tracks in that. And then the new one. The new one's pretty bad. So there's that.
I get how like how music and art looks to you. Oh, shout out to James, by the way. He's at his dad's house. He can't make it, so shout out to him. So like, I get how it's personal, but like looking at these visuals, they definitely don't look bad. Especially as somebody who's like they definitely look better than like if anybody's ever played a fucking NES game. They definitely look better than anything on the NES or most things.
Yeah, well, I mean, the comparison he makes in the article is how like because like the trouble is basically to quote it is the trouble is that it's not in HD. As someone who has played God of War 3, which is obviously better than anything else because it's on PS3. He's a very sarcastic, by the way, as a person. And basically he goes on. It's
so
like,
is this review a meme or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Although
the whole point of the review is that every point he makes is the opposite of what he thinks.
All right.
Exactly. However, he's made the point. However, he also made another post, which I don't have bookmarked, but I had saved a minute ago, on why he thinks it's actually and why it's not a meme, and how half the points he makes on here, which are the ones I'm slowly addressing, are actually serious. That his point, he makes a joke. Obviously, the story's awful. That's a joke. With it, the idea with the story is that it's different from other stories because it's not just like, how do I say, it's picked up like throughout it, and it's not a primary focus sort of thing. It's just kind of a moving through the game sort of thing. The other jokes he makes are, it's too hard, which to roast Mark yet again. He had trouble. Actually, I don't know if he ever actually got around getting through to finish this game because he had issue. How do I say? He couldn't beat the game.
He does have issues. Yeah,
it was too hard for him. So all the other things are clearly jokes. As in,
how do you beat Dark Souls?
It's for furries, no idea. It's not in the PS3.
Don't look, it's Alex. The game's
Sonic,
difficulty is bad. I feel challenged. I like winning.
Literally
like when I play
dodge
Modern
hit,
Warfare
dodge
2.
hit, dodge hit, dodge hit, dodge hit. That's
it's
Dark
mechanical
Souls.
skill, whereas an autist can learn that, and Cave Story is
actually
not.
Cave Story I could compare to a bullet hell kind of game.
There you
it's
go.
similar in that style.
Autists excel at mechanical skill than brain skill, so
yeah.
So that explains it.
Basically, I mean, you could call it. If this is a legitimate argument that is actually he throws in there as a meme, but it's brought up is that it's a furry piece of shit because there's a bunch of all the characters are rabbits besides the main character. He's a robot.
Okay,
actually,
well, fucking
there's another rabbit.
Sonic has rabbits.
But yeah, he also makes a joke about Sonic in there.
Oh, really?
Says it's not Sonic and that's why it's bad.
Sonic is first.
Yeah, Sonic's also bad though, so it's okay.
You're right. Sonic is bad. We'll talk about that later because I hate Sonic.
Yeah, you've ranted on it before. Basically, though, the point I got to make about this game overall is, besides the fact of how, I think it's like I played through the game personally. Let's see, what mainly got into it? Well, okay, I'll start it off with I downloaded the demo on Mark's Wii a while back, played through it, and realized I wanted to play this game. Also, I thought the music was pretty dank. So this is one of a few instances where I played a game partially because of the music, which is only partially true. Like I've played tracks from it in our voice channels before, because it's dank. Basically, though, it's different. I'd say average from like the way other games play out for it, because while it is still a linear, pretty average story game, and the gameplay isn't specifically special. I'd say it's the way that I'd say that they tell out the story without it being a giant focus is what makes it really a special point to it. And how it's just kind of there. Also, the game gives you multiple points to get out, as in like there's one point where it's like, hey, do you want to leave? Because you're on like a floating, like an island thing, a floating island. It's like, do you want to leave? We could hatch this dragon egg, take off and go. That's considered the what I'm going to call the quote unquote bad ending. Is it's the first ending, you don't actually help anyone or save anything or whatever. The other ending is, oh hey, you saved this girl who you accidentally got her imprisoned because she was nice to you, and
kind of like DDLC.
Yeah, except it's not a visual novel with people hanging themselves. So that's the standard, hey, you did the thing you set out to do, good job. And then there's this thing where you go fight this giant fucking sun beast that I don't know how to define it. It's got some pretty dank track that plays with it. It's not actually as good as some others, but that's besides the point. That basically is the I'm gonna say the full ending, but also requires some other stuff and doing some shitty stuff with other characters, like draining a robot that has water in it and fighting tentacle monster without tentacles. So yeah.
If you had to pick a, because I know you've talked about Cave Story.
I've ranted on this in a more organized.
Not to the point. Have you? Okay. I don't think I've heard it.
Yeah, it wasn't with you.
This is the most concise I've heard you put it, and so I'm aware that Cave Story is your favorite game. But if you had to pick a runner-up, what would it be?
Runner-up?
Yeah, you did say you had 2 earlier, didn't you?
I did not in video.
You were debating between 2. Today. Sorry.
I was saying
what's
one of my closest second games. Well, it's my second's basically a tied kind of thing.
Okay.
I think
just
overall,
like say the games and maybe
like overall, I'd say it's like it have to either beat Stardew Valley as like
a
pretty close second. That or hold on, I marked this because I knew I was gonna forget it, and I still forgot it anyway.
Oh, by the way, Ace Attorney might be a second for me. The first one, Turnabout Trial, which is also basically a visual novel, but not really.
Jesus, and you still have not played Doki Doki. Terrible human being.
I haven't played through it. It's just
I haven't played through
Doki to me.
It's alright.
Yeah, that's just me. Like
I like the mods better.
Because the appeal of a visual novel is on the basis of its writing. Like Genro Obuchi, Willow will know who he is. He wrote a visual novel, which is great because he's a great writer. But
yeah, I think my second close follow-up would be Borderlands 2 as well. Just because of the special, I'd say, how to say the different story. How do I say it's got an odd storytelling technique to it. It's a light game that doesn't take itself seriously, while also having aspects that take itself seriously when it needs to. It's got some unique. I mean, I could say definitely the weapon and loot system is pretty unique. There's a shotgun that shoots swords.
Oh my fucking god!
The game doesn't take itself seriously in that aspect. But also
a gun that shoots whenever you.
I definitely understand the appeal of Borderlands.
Yeah.
Speaking of games with ridiculous guns, has anyone played Painkiller?
No.
It's on my list of games to play at some point.
17.75 million guns in Borderlands 2.
That's
ridiculous.
Is that counting like every single gun with every single combination of manufacturers?
I think so.
Yes, Borderlands, which has the periodical system, is randomly generated loot, which holds the Guinness World Record for the most guns in a video game, a whopping 17.75 million. So many
only
guns.
Imagine what Borderlands 3 will be then.
Yeah, because they're adding more.
I have to emphasize as well. I think Borderlands 1 is one of my least favorite games.
I've never played anything but 2 in pre-sequel.
I've only I've not played like all
Shout
3.
Shout out to James posting a picture in the Discord channel.
Yeah,
which is completely accurate.
Oh my god!
It's a picture of a guy with a hat saying, "What we've got here is failure to communicate."
Yeah, really.
That reminds me of my entire time as SPL of our troop. Anyway,
you said you're SK?
You're fine.
I am SK. Come for me,
man.
man.
Oh my god. Hang him.
Yeah, basically.
Alex, you were lying.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah, what is Town of Salem? Where was I about to go with this?
Something about Borderlands 1.
Borderlands 1, but you might have been done.
No, I was gonna go somewhere with it, but I don't remember where.
Okay, alright.
So yeah, this is Borderlands 1 I don't think is a great game. Borderlands 2 I do think is a great game. I think it made up for the mistakes of the first game, most of the issues with it, and the fact that I played the second game, which most people think is better, and I agree is better, and then I played the first one, and I think that's why I don't like the first one.
Can somebody explain to me the appeal of like the BioShock games besides the fact that somebody made
oh god. Okay, so as someone who's also spent a lot of time playing,
they have a good story.
BioShock.
That is a really good story.
Yeah, let's say the original. First of all, I'd say BioShock's got a fun little plot twist in the first game, at least. There's a good argument you can fight over. I can say there's a plot twist.
Spoilers,
you could, I'd say you could argue that either there's a good argument going on whether or not the first game or the third game, and by third I mean BioShock Infinite's better. BioShock 2 is not great. Minerva's Den's pretty good. That's a DLC for it. There's multiplayer for it too, which if you hate yourself, go play it.
Okay, talking about BioShock reminds me. We'll get to this after, Nate, but I have a bone to pick.
Oh boy.
To what after?
We'll get to some
What
of that
after?
after. Just don't worry about
Are we
it.
not do? I thought we were not doing anything afterwards. Well, maybe.
No,
whatever.
he means
Okay.
after.
Well, I have something after
don't-
Nate because I
don't
have something
matter.
to bring up.
Don't care. Anyway, back to BioShock. It's basically like, how do I say it? Besides it's underwater. It is a different feel. It's a cool environment. Cool storytelling techniques. Keeps you engaged, sort of thing.
Okay. Didn't do that for me, but all right, fair enough. I just wanted to know the appeal because to me it just.
I'd say it's generally the appeal. Obviously, people go head over heels for the game and can't continuously replay it over and over
Was
again.
BioShock Infinite good?
It was pretty good.
Yes,
Okay.
I think. Okay,
It's not as good as
Bioshock-
the first two, though.
See, this is where I
The
disagree.
first two?
I think BioShock 1 and 2. I think BioShock Infinite was actually better than BioShock 1.
Is it because they had
in what it's set
the
up to
chick
do.
in it?
No.
No.
I think
Oh.
part of what BioShock 1 did better Infinite did better is it did a better job of kind of refining down the issues with BioShock 1 in that it's a very, 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 very similar situation, and the game actually makes a point of that. I'd say it's I would not advise playing through the BioShock series. And by series, I mean feel free to skip too. Playing through BioShock 1, BioShock Infinite, and then the two Burial at Sea DLCs from BioShock Infinite, because they actually wrap the games all into one giant story, which I think is pretty cool. But I'd say it has a different feel in the way it does it. Instead of sending you into the depth underworld of a ruined city and going through that, you're launched up into a cloud city in a very basically it's the 1950s or 60s pre-civil rights, and
Good.
the game starts. Yeah. No, you should play the intro to the game. You'd enjoy it.
Good.
The part of right before the action really kicks up in the game, you're instructed to throw out minor spoilers, a baseball at a mixed racial couple.
Oh yes, yes! This is my game. I have to play
Oh
it.
boy.
So yeah, there's it does what BioShock 1 did, but in a different feel, and I think it does what it did better, actually. Yeah.
You got anything else to say about your favorite? I was just curious.
No, I rambled on about some other stuff.
What about Borderlands
so-
the pre-sequel? How does that one work?
Okay, so let me explain what Borderlands
Good
the pre-sequel
game.
then, because this one.
Ish.
So let me precursor this by saying if the universal conclusion on Borderlands the pre-sequel is it's shit. The universal
it's on
conclusion,
par.
It's not.
and yeah, that I think it's a
doesn't
little
count.
worse than 2. Yeah, and it doesn't count. So here it doesn't count because it was made by a different studio, by the way. But
Yes.
the
GTA Australia.
universal conclusion is bad. The main thing is it came out and it didn't live up to the expectations. As actually, I'd make the same argument with No Man's Sky, except No Man's Sky is overall a worse game. It didn't meet and also there were promising issues with No Man's Sky, but that's besides the point. It didn't meet the expectations that it had. The pre-sequel came out after, a bit after 2. People had been wanting a new Borderlands game, and everyone's like, 2 was phenomenal. We want something is good or better than that. And it didn't meet expectations. And because of that,
It looks like I'm looking it up. It looks like it got received relatively well, like 75.
Don't ever listen to
It's
critics.
Okay.
It's a
Listen to
good
yeah.
game. It's just.
Oh no, that's from Metacritic, which is also community reviews.
yeah, don't Metacritic's. I don't advise Metacritic reviews. They're really
Alright.
weird and people.
I don't read it. I'm
Like,
just
look
using
up
it as
the
a
Fallout
bar.
76 reviews. If they're not like a firm 0, they're a firm 100. Either way, it's stupid. Because that game's a hot mess within itself. But what game am I talking about?
Pre-sequel.
Oh, pre-sequel, right?
No, 76 was like 50, so it does look pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. See,
But it's basically the pre-sequel didn't. It's more or less a worse version of Borderlands 2 with a different story, different. The characters are fun. They're enjoyable.
Yeah.
I have not finished the game yet. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, Kenny knows that. We were playing through it and then we stopped.
I beat it 6 times.
Yeah, nice job. Basically, if you want to play another Borderlands game, play 2 then the pre-sequel. Because like I can play the pre-sequel, but I can't get through 1. I'd say pre-sequel is closer to 2, obviously, because it came after compared to 1, which 2 is pretty different from 1.
right.
So, yeah, it's a game.
I'm interested in because when we did Hot Ones, I don't think today we've learned anything new except for Jared's, which was Yakuza.
Yeah.
Tyler never mentioned his,
Really?
so I'm
mentioned
curious.
You,
Oh,
I
actually,
don't- I
my
think-
favorite
what
No,
did
you
you say?
said you said World of Warcraft.
Yeah, you said World of Warcraft. I remember.
No,
that.
not for a long time. I've said that.
You did.
No,
in
you
Hot
did.
Ones.
You said it in Hot
Oh, during
Ones.
Hot Ones. Well, yeah, we
Yeah.
were eating a shit ton of hot sauce.
Not by that point.
That was the first
wing.
wing. That was the first
Anxiety is a hell of a
question.
drug.
I think you were just trying to be funny. But
Oh
anyways,
no, yeah, I think I did say it as a joke actually.
yeah.
Or wait, are you sure I said wow?
I did.
I
Yeah,
almost
you
I
did.
could probably
Yeah.
check and figure
We
it out.
have it
You're
on
right.
footage.
Don't check.
Uh,
Don't bother. I know it.
Okay.
Check Alex's channel because he didn't upload it to the group channel. Whatever.
Because he's dumb.
Um,
Plus the video was bad. No, I'm kidding. It was pretty okay.
You're right. It's bad.
Video is flawless.
Yeah, that.
Anyways,
Alex's
Tyler.
edit was
Anyway,
beautiful.
beyond my
Your
hold
art.
on.
Speaking of
Over
art.
10-minute rant. Let's go on to Tyler. I
I don't know if that was
say
rant.
Doki, I'm gonna hit you.
No, it's not Doki. I don't like. I'm not sure. Like, I don't really play a lot of games.
you
but
flake! Boo! Boo!
What?
Let him
What?
finish.
Boo!
Let him finish.
What is wrong with you?
You didn't pick a favorite
Finish.
game, bitch.
Finish.
Okay, well, I don't really have like a favorite game, but I've played
Pick one.
a few of them.
Okay, fair enough.
Portal 2.
One of them's probably gonna be Pokemon X because I got that when it came out, and the story was like unlike any other Pokemon game I played. Plus, I loved all of the character Pokemon. I guess you could say
Tyler
they're
loves
cool
Pokemon.
ones. Yeah, they're great games. I'm doing a YouTube series. You should watch it at TLumber2000 on YouTube.
The last game I played.
Don't forget to bleep out what he just
played
said.
on the
I'm
console
muted.
The editor.
was like Pearl and Diamond. So X is beyond my
X is
generation,
like
I
Gen
guess.
6 or 7. I think it's 6 though.
X is
But-
Was X
X
after
is-
Black and White or
Yes.
was that
Yes.
Okay.
X is Gen 7. 'cause
X is
4
dead.
is Diamond
on,
and Pearl.
let me look.
5 is
Pokemon
Black
games.
and White. No, X is 6. Yeah, you're right.
X is
X is
6.
dead.
Yep.
Okay, whatever. Well, at least I
he's,
my
in, he's in
God.
Finland with
He's-
Hitler and Tupac.
What do you mean? He's in New Zealand.
Oh boy, yeah. So
He's
Pokemon
just
X, it
chilling
was
with
fun,
Tupac
but
and Hitler.
I guess if I had
And
to say like
Biggie.
single player games, it'd be that.
Biggie's dead.
Yeah. So I just like I don't really play a lot of games, nor do I have like a favorite.
Yeah,
because
I don't.
like a lot
I don't
of
really
games.
play a lot of games, says Tyler.
And
I mean,
here we
I
see
don't
Fred-
like
Almost
Never
2,000
felt
hours on
like-
Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
most of those are idle. I'm playing Surf.
Okay, you're right, but still.
Is
Yeah.
CS
This
gonna
year,
be your
I'll give-
gonna be
I'll
one
give
of your
Jane-
other favorite games?
Oh no, I will give CS:GO an honorable
Is what?
shout out. It's one of my favorite games.
It's okay. Like
For the amount I shit on it, it's a
and
good
then
game.
I'd say probably okay. Who just left?
Nah.
Oh, Kenny left.
back.
Okay.
Don't
And then
worry.
if I had to pick like a multiplayer game, I'd go GTA 5 online because the memes we've had in that game as a group is just like unbeatable by any other game I've played. The amount of fun we've had in that game, just like
What's
messing around and killing each other, flying planes into each other.
Into
It's
tall
it's
buildings.
loads of fun. It's always been a fun game
Yeah,
as
I
a
can-
group, and I think a lot of you guys can agree with that. Like when
it's,
we play, we always have a lot of fun.
I'd
GTA
agree.
Online.
If only all of us could play GTA
it's
together.
what? Pokemon X and
Pokemon X and then GTA
5.
Online.
All right. Anything else?
The GTA Online meme experiences we have, I like. You know it's a good game when you can just go on GTA and murdering your friends is funny. The simplest thing in the game, and it's funny to you.
Yeah.
That's
Meanwhile-
how I feel like it's a good game.
Meanwhile, if you do that shit in like Mario Kart
Real
or some
life.
shit, you get fucked.
Are you doing
I
it in real
thought
life?
you would
go to
say
prison.
visual novel, but I was wrong.
Nah.
I'm really Tyler. I'm proud of
Wow.
you. The fact you didn't say a visual novel.
No,
All right,
Okie dokie.
let's move on to the
it's not even
silent
my
one.
favorite
We
video
even
game.
have another topic. Warframe's a good.
No, it's on the Nate. We
Warframe
didn't do
is a
Nate
good
yet. Oh,
Yeah.
gross.
So, Nate,
Anyways, Nate, you have the floor.
Nate, do you want to
buddy.
say anything?
Oh,
Oh,
Alright.
Pong.
Yeah,
Pong.
Pong is definitely my favorite game by far.
you go.
I had an Atari back in the old days, back in the 80s, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When it
was
came
good
out-
times, good times. No,
when it came out,
my favorite game has got to either be Battlefield, the Battlefield series, or the Arkham series.
Those aren't
Because-
games, you cock.
All right, well, all right, fine. Arkham City. Arkham City or fucking the original Battlefield 1942,
Okay,
because that was one of
alright.
the very first video games I ever played, and it stuck with me, and I've loved Battlefield ever since. So
Oh, that's
Why
probably
is-
my next.
Why is Battlefield better than COD?
because it is,
Because
and
COD's
there's larger
garbage.
battles.
Do you have,
it's-
do you have any
garbage.
reasons?
Yeah,
COD
no,
is
it's
literal
the larger
garbage.
bat. I like the battles. I like the combined combat with the planes, the tanks, like all of that together. It's a lot more fun and more interesting, and you get a lot more
It's-
epic gamer moments than you do in COD.
It's purely
Epic
opinion.
gamer moments.
So
Okay,
Like, if
well,
you like
fine.
small
Yeah,
maps,
the entire
fine.
topic
if you
was
like
opinion.
small
Fine,
maps,
opinions.
with, if you well, no, I agree with Nate. I think Battlefield is
Nah,
uh,
Battlefield's
is
way better than COD. I actually really
better
like
than COD
Battlefield
for
games.
for the same
I'm
reasons that Nate said. But
Yeah.
And they finally
As
fixed the
someone who's-
fucking killed it. They so basically what they did with Battlefield 5, they increased the time to kill, which pissed a lot of people off, and they finally reset it back to normal Battlefield time to kill. So it's
What do you
yeah,
mean
it's
time
good.
to kill?
so how many bullets it takes to kill
Oh,
someone.
Yes.
okay.
So like COD has a really high time to kill. That's part of the thing with COD. It's small maps with high time to kill. So you're running around, you might put a clip into someone, and that's
And you
that's how
won't
you
kill them.
Yeah, that and the maps are
Plus the
with
healing.
the exception of a few, they're very small, especially in comparison to the size of Battlefield
Battlefield
maps.
maps.
Not
yeah.
But-
it's kind of the opposite. A lot of the COD maps are fairly large for the like size of
No, if you
people
play
that normally
something
No, no,
like
I know
not
what you
assault,
mean.
like the war game modes or stuff like that, like those have huge maps.
Yeah, that's what I'm on
yeah,
right now.
but
It's a
there's
lot of fun.
also
Like you travel from area to
6
area on a
times the
massive
players?
map.
It's
well, yeah, that's-
64 players.
64 player. Oh, actually, I was thinking 64 per team. My bad.
I
Sorry,
wish.
3 times.
That'd
the
be
player.
cool.
That would be awesome.
128 people. That'd be
I
fun.
think
That would be
some
amazing.
servers actually have that.
Yeah, there
I
are.
think
Well,
I've
like
seen 128
Private.
player servers.
Oh, also the Rising Storm games. I love those.
I don't like Rising
Oh,
Storm 2,
same.
but I love Rising Storm 1.
Rising
those
Storm
are
1 was
Rising
great. I
fucking
can't believe that
blast.
was free.
Hey, have you played the original Red Orchestra? Because I haven't.
Yeah, of course.
It's isn't.
blast.
Oh wait, never mind. That's
is
Red
it?
Orchestra 2 is combined with that.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
free
I
on
know.
Humble Bundle at one point.
No, it wasn't. That was Red
The
Orchestra
first
2.
one was.
Okay.
Yeah, which
We
has
should play-
Rising Storm in
We
it.
should play
They're
more.
combined.
We should play more Red Orchestra 2, Rising Storm 1.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Let's talk.
All right. So I want
Alright.
to take this onto a point real quick because it's got me interested because Nate brought it up. I'm curious, what was the first games that everyone here's played? We can just get on
Oh,
the list again.
shit.
because
I already know.
I know.
So,
let's
but,
go down the
most-
list for
hold on, so
Ken.
most
that
of you
just
should have a good
that
idea,
reminded
but-
me of another favorite game. Like I'd have to even.
Oh,
maybe
Kenny
go over
left.
the
Kenny
other
left.
ones.
He
Kenny
knows.
left. Yeah, Kenny knows. All right. So Kenny, since you're at the top.
Wait, whoa! I don't.
What was the
even
first
remember.
game you played?
All right. So we'll move on to Alex and come back to Kenny last. Then.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
All
Alex,
right, go on, Alex. Yeah, you.
Yeah,
probably one of the original Xbox games. So maybe
There's a lot of those.
Radio Jet Set or
Jet Set Radio is a good game.
Jet Set Radio. I said it backwards.
Nice.
That game has such an amazing album, and
It
the
has a
first
great
and second.
Isn't that out
I
on
prefer
Steam
the
now?
second one though.
It is. I have it on Steam.
I think I
Um,
might have it as well.
I have it installed from you on Steam at the moment too. No, but that was probably one of my first. Maybe Battlefield 2 is right up there with like closeness at first and KOTOR, or the first KOTOR at least. Which are all amazing games. The original Xbox was an amazing console, and if you disagree, you should just die.
Yeah, the problem is you're a console
Oof.
pleb. Get out.
Alright, listen here. Did your shitty PC have karaoke where you could dress up as a bear? Stuck to me.
Heck yeah,
yeah.
we party.
Did
We
your
party.
PC have karaoke where you and your brothers took 3 mics and mumbled along and got
I like
perfect
mumble rap.
The
scores?
start of
I
Mumble
think
Rap.
not.
Actually, oh my god.
I think
you just
not.
Gave me you just gave me some intense fucking SingStar PTSD.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
It's a game on
It's
the
what
Wii.
he just described.
All
I
right,
have
fair
PTSD.
enough.
What?
Hold on. Can I just
Alright.
ask who here had a Wii?
I did.
did.
Okay, everyone had a Wii. Cool.
Oh,
That was my
have it?
favorite.
Another
That was
thing
like
from
I
my
think that was my
childhood-
first console.
Smash Bros, the original. That is something that me and my
Oh,
brothers
really?
Wait,
constantly
wow.
The original?
played. Yeah,
Original?
64.
Huh. I never played
That
it.
that's something I've had. I've had that probably my entire life.
All right.
Nice.
Such an
All right.
amazing console too.
Now Texas, other Alex. Just
All right,
his names are
Just
hard.
Say it.
Well, the first like video games I remember, like not by name, definitely not by name, are like games on the Mac my dad's laptop. It was like a sort of like an asteroid thing, but its aesthetic was like that. It was like drawn on a piece of paper. It was interesting. I definitely can't name it by name, but so the first game I can really name by name is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red on the Game Boy.
Wow, that's really early.
Not Mystery Dungeon Blue, absolute blood.
I got that later, you fucko. But DS hadn't come out, you slut.
What? I said blue. Red and blue were released at the same time.
No. Blue was on DS.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. Blue wasn't on Game Advance. Look it up. It's true.
Pokemon Dungeon Blue.
What?
All right, this nigga's looking. I know exactly. I know. Red was
Blue
on
Rescue
Game Boy.
Team and Red Rescue Team. What?
Yeah, Red Rescue Team was on Game Boy.
Blue was on NES.
Team.
Game Boy was Rescue.
And I had Blue later, and I played whatever the like other one was, Explorers of Time on DS. I love that game, but like the first one I remember, or the first two I remember because I got them for a birthday with the Game Boy Advance. One of them was Red Mystery Dungeon. The other was a puzzle game about bowling balls. I can't remember it, but Red Mystery Dungeon, yeah.
Wii Sports.
No.
All right, Willow.
What about you? Oh yeah, I'm above him. Okay, so the first video game I can remember playing because I honestly forget if we had a PlayStation 1 when I was that little, but I think we did. And I also remember we had an N64. So it may have either no, it was definitely a PS1 game. But the first one I remember playing was Ratchet and Clank, the first one.
Shit, that game too. That could be a chance for me too.
Yeah, I'm between a few. Don't worry. All right, Jared.
First game you ever played?
Sorry.
If you can remember.
I was watching a video.
Well, first one you remember. I mean,
first one I remember. Oh God, original Yakuza actually.
Yakuza.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm an otaku. You have to pronounce it correctly or I get mad. Pronounce it correctly like a real Japanese person or get the fuck out of my Discord.
You want me to beat you to death, Willow? Willow, beat you to death.
Calm down.
You're gonna get my cock.
Beat me to death like the rest of your friends.
And there's more editing for Tyler. All right.
Go.
All right. So So by I'm almost confident to say StarCraft/StarCraft Brood War was my first game.
That's what Mark would say as well, I think.
It is because the first games I remember playing were StarCraft with Mark. I met Mark in like first grade. So yeah. I'm pretty sure that was it because the Wii came out in 2006, but Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga came out in 2007. So I think that was one of the first games. That was one of the first games because I played that at a friend's house, and I made my parents buy me it.
November 19th, 2006.
And a Wii. They made them buy me a Wii for that game and for Super Mario Galaxy. Super Mario Galaxy is one of my favorite games.
I never played that game.
I like that game as well.
Mario Galaxy is a phenomenal game. I highly recommend it. The first game is a phenomenal soundtrack. Second game has even better soundtrack. I think the first game has a better story though.
I also like the first game's aesthetic more just because it's at night and not in the fucking day.
Also, the spaceship's cooler.
If it's in space, you're not gonna have it be the fucking day. Why? That's retarded.
I agree.
It looks like shit. I wanted to play the second game, but it just looks like. Why would you put in day? No, it's so retarded. Why would you do that?
Stop complaining and just play the game. It's good. Super Mario Galaxy 2. Super Mario Galaxy 1 has a better gameplay though, but phenomenal game.
I do judge books by their cover, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can tell. Kami. Anyway, so
okay.
What?
So I think it's StarCraft. I mean, there's a chance it was some PS2 game because my grandma had a PS2, but I'm pretty sure it was that with Mark.
Fair enough.
So,
Cheese on bird.
All right. So my first game, I'm not entirely sure about this, but it's definitely one of my favorite games. Was Mario Kart Wii. That game, I murdered that game. I played the heck out of that game.
I think every kid did.
But
We all got
honestly,
fucking
I'm not
wrecked,
even
I think.
I'm not even kidding. I was #1 in the world for DK Summit before the glitch came out for it. I'm not even joking.
dope.
For a time, I was.
Oh
But
Yeah, this is a celebrity, guys. Listen to our podcast.
I have a quick edit to make in here. It might one of the first games I think I played, if not the first, was New Super Mario Bros. For the DS.
Oh yeah, that's a
because
good one as well.
I had a special. I have actually. I'm looking at it right now. A special. It's broken partially, but a special edition DS that released when that came out. So yeah, that's also up there. It's got a big M on it. So yeah. Anyway, to continue to Tyler.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And then yeah, like adding more, even like Mario Kart 8 is really good. Like I've been playing that on emulator because I wanted to play it again. And I just have to get coins. That's all I have to do to beat the game. But yeah, Mario Kart was probably my first game. I don't know. It might have been a DS game, like freaking Mario Kart DS, maybe. I don't know.
I didn't like any Mario Karts besides Mario Kart Wii.
Wow. Try Mario Kart 64. You might like that.
I have played it. Not a fan.
Nate. Oh, okay.
What?
Nate, what was
first
the
video game you
that
remember?
playing?
So it's either.
Guitar Hero.
Oh fuck, dude. It's got okay. I can remember 3 instances, but I don't know which one came first. So it was either playing Warcraft 2 on the PlayStation 1.
Warcraft 3 was also one of my first few games.
Or so it's either that or going to my friend's house and playing Xbox 360, playing Gears of War, the original Gears of War, or at my grandfather's playing the original Battlefield 1942.
I think it probably would have been StarCraft 2 or Warcraft 2, excuse me.
Probably.
No, probably before.
I don't know.
I had a
the
PlayStation
Xbox
because I had a PS1 like as long as I can remember.
Yeah. Whatever. It's not. They're not my fucking
I was always
memories.
a Nintendo kid.
just
Like
guessing.
I don't think I ever had like an Xbox
Same.
or a PlayStation. I kind of went
I
from.
bought an Xbox.
I've only ever had owned 3 consoles because again, I'm not really a video games person. Game Boy, DS, and Wii. That's it.
I've had like 3 of the DS
That's
versions,
not
a
true,
Wii,
Alex.
a Wii U,
What?
and then I went to PC.
You own an NES.
Oh yeah, you're right. SNES. Yeah.
NES, yeah.
Well, it's still Nintendo. So my point
That's-
stands.
That's, I mean, I guess, yeah.
Anyways, all right. I have some points to make.
Don't make it that long.
Yeah.
we should
First of
probably
all,
wrap it
Kenny.
up.
Second of all, make your.
What's that?
So yeah, Kenny
I have
has to
some.
go. I forgot he
I have
didn't
some.
go
Okay,
first.
Kenny has to
Kenny.
go, but I have some time. That's fine.
I mean,
So
don't.
No, it's not that. It's we don't want it to be like 8 million hours long.
It's not
Yeah,
gonna.
try to wrap it,
bitch.
Alex. Try to wrap it up in the next 20 minutes.
At
All
least.
right. I think it'll
Or no, at
be
most, but-
fine. I think
Why,
it'll be fine.
why would we want to deprive people of more content?
Because that's the
Exactly.
worst thing to
Certain
do.
people have things to
Exactly.
do with their night.
Like
I mean,
what,
it's a
bitch?
podcast. People usually just sit down to
It's a-
listen to them for.
Yeah,
like,
so they can listen to
until
the
they're
next
done.
episode
Yeah, if
after it
anyone's
comes
gonna
out.
listen to it.
Yeah, honestly,
Exactly.
All
Also
right,
that,
so
like-
Kenny, go.
So the only thing I can think of, which is also my second game franchise, is
That's one.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Hey, Lamau, I was close.
No, man, I never actually got to play in Kingdom Hearts 1 until like
Was that on the Wii?
a year ago.
Oh, wait. Ty.
I don't know how Kingdom Hearts work. I've never played it. Or
It's on the
like
PlayStation.
Japanese
I don't know how
PlayStation
Kingdom
exclusive.
Hearts
Well,
work.
yeah, I guess.
That's probably why I never played
It
them.
was probably Kingdom Hearts
PlayStation.
2. It was the only game I feel like I played as a kid that I actually finished myself. The only game
Alright.
Yeah, but did you
Sadly.
kill Sephiroth?
Yes, I actually. I don't actually remember.
You
But
don't
I have
remember doing that?
nowadays.
Okay, Monka S.
Well, I'm sorry, Tyler. How long ago was that? At least 13 years ago.
Yeah, you
And
should
might I
remember this
also
better.
add-
You're-
13 years ago was Kingdom Hearts 2, and I've been waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 for
Looks like it's a big
13
deal.
years.
All right, speaking of waiting 13 years for things, we're going to wait 13 years now for Alex to finish his final comments. So,
Fuck you.
Alex, take it
I
away.
hate you.
Whoa,
It's not
that's a
even-
hard ass.
Dude, bitch. How
I
about
I might just do an outro and post and then just put it on here if this is too long.
if, I don't think it'll be long, but like fucking, I
No,
want
we're-
to talk about shit. I want to be
Speak
rushed.
then.
We're not
You
making
need
this
to
2
try-
hours long. It's already
Yes,
an
we
hour
are.
30.
It is
We're
2
not-
hours long.
Who cares?
It's going to end up being 2
Yeah,
hours long.
it's
Whatever.
fine. It'll be
Who
2
cares?
hours long.
Just speak.
Alright,
Okay,
my
just
point
speak
is that-
then. Speak!
Fuck you.
Oh my
point-
god.
Whoa.
My first point is that the side games fucking suck. And Mark's not here to defend them, so I can talk about shit about them all I want. Okay, so like in fuck you.
No, I agree with you, but I think some of them are right.
Sonic All-Star Racing Transformed is a good game.
Okay, never mind. I forgot. Fucking Sonic All-Stars is fucking great.
Sonic Mania 2, best game ever.
I'm talking about that. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. The fucking Sonic games. So like, here's
Can you explain them? I'm pretty sure I don't know what a Sonic game is.
I'm gonna hang myself, dude.
No, you won't.
Calling your bluff. Calling your bluff.
I don't call you bluff.
Don't do that. Okay, so in the fucking Mario game, right? I love the Mario series. I got pretty good at speedrunning.
What about the Mario and Sonic?
The original and Super Mario Bros. 3. What?
Mario and Sonic Olympic Games.
Oh, I don't remember.
The Olympic Winter Games.
The Olympic Winter Games was a great game. I loved that game.
I disagree, but anyway.
All right. Well, let me tell you what the fuck a fucking Mario game is before you interrupt me. So a Mario game, it's not that fast, and you have some time to make decisions. It's a fun game. Jumping is satisfying. Everything feels right, especially in certain games. Like for me, Super Mario Bros. 3 definitely has the best like feel out of any of the platformers. And Super Mario Bros. 2 probably feels the worst, but that's just my opinion. But like everything is satisfying. It's not too fast, but still difficult, especially if you're playing the lost levels. In Sonic, the game, because the Genesis had a better processor than like the SNES or the NES, you could go fucking fast, and that's the selling point, right, of the Sega Genesis. If you guys are familiar with the console wars, AVGN has a good video about it. But
don't promote other people besides me on this channel.
Okay, yeah, T Lombard 2000 has a good video.
Anyways, why does anyone want to promote you?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I promote Willow. Go check him out.
So the selling point of Sonic is to go fucking fast, right? That's the point.
Gotta go fast.
And, yeah. And so my point is that like the gameplay in that game is not like conducive to going fast, because like there are certain sections where you go do a fucking loop-de-loop over the hill, but like most of the time you actually have to move quite slow because you want to go fast. The game rewards you for going fast because it feels really satisfying.
What happened to being a Super Mario Bros. Speedrunner? Now you don't want to go fast?
I want to go fast in a fucking Sonic game because then you die and you get punished and it's not satisfying at all.
It reminds me of Bubsy.
In Mario, if you exactly, it is like Bubsy because when you play a Mario game,
bam,
you go. I mean, fast. I mean, like relatively fast. I mean, the game rewards you for going faster because you pick up momentum and it feels more satisfying. In Sonic, you get punished for going faster because the game fucking sucks. And that's the same with fucking all Sonic games, especially the 3D ones. They all suck. Sonic 06, it's shit.
Sonic,
they're all shit.
Something 2
except for,
has a phenomenal soundtrack.
Except for soundtrack, whatever. The original has a good soundtrack as well.
Rolling around at the speed of sound.
Got places to be. Gotta follow the rainbow.
Anyway, Sonic All-Star fucking Racing. That's a good game.
Sonic All-Star Racing is a great game.
Every other Sonic game is shit.
What about Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games 2016?
I don't remember.
What about 2017?
It would be the Winter Games.
Like play that one.
No,
I don't remember.
How do the Olympics work?
All right, I have another fucking point to make, which is like,
oh my god, how many points do you have? Do you have like a freaking?
I told you,
got a goddamn point grab.
Do you have a pencil case? Do you have a pencil case? Are you sharpening your pencils to a point? Is that what you're doing?
I'll take 2 pens, a pencil, and 3 paper clips. Alex, keep talking.
No.
All right,
I've already disagreed to this argument.
This is sort of backtracking to my argument, but it actually doesn't matter. So let's say I think video games are art, whatever. It doesn't matter. Dude, this is my biggest fucking pet peeve. I'm going to send Tyler this. Here's a fucking Tumblr.
Just send it in overflow.
Outlining.
Oh, no, stop.
Outlining.
It'll get removed yesterday.
In fucking journalism, somebody has said the Citizen Kane of gaming. Fuck. Okay, First of all,
I've seen this.
Like, if you know anything about movies at all, and this is not like.
Now we're going back to movies.
This is not shaming people who like don't know anything about movies. But if you know anything about movies, you'll know that Citizen Kane is not the movie that like revolutionized filmmaking forever. Like it's only notable because it's a good example of a good art film, and because it's the one that people just know because they don't know anything about movies and they're Philistine fucking gaming journalists.
Mark's here.
What, bitch? What?
The thing with Citizen Kane is that it brought in new ideas into the market.
Also, this is Madigan for anyone
I don't think people would know that unless they were filmmakers. That's the thing. I don't think it was.
You're right, but the idea of Citizen Kane, why it's so controversial, is the things that he does with the camera, and then that everyone told him, "No, you can't do that," and he's like, "Fuck you, I'm doing it."
Watch me.
Yeah, wow, it's like he's human.
But he was one of the first ones to do that. If you're comparing Citizen Kane to Sonic, Sonic did bring.
I'm not.
No, don't even.
That's not what anybody was doing. All right,
doing a hurricane kick in Street Fighter is a basic game.
Alex just shit all
what
over
a film lover would do, citing a movie like Citizen Kane.
I disagree.
GameCritics.com.
I don't know if you guys went over this in your film history class, but
Someone help.
there were Soviet filmmakers that were doing wild shit.
Yeah, montage.
Orwell's.
Yeah, montage. So
montage parody.
That's not. No, I mean.
What about Worst Operator?
Other things besides montages, like you guys were talking about Dutch angles.
Epic Gamer.
Epic Gamer moment number 137. When Alex goes for 30 minutes on a topic that has nothing to do with video games whatsoever.
Tyler's bitching about me. Fuck you, Tyler. My point is that I don't think that any educated person in film history can really cite Citizen Kane as a turning point. I just don't think you can. Which is why I think the comparison is I mean, just inaccurate at best. But besides being inaccurate, it's just fucking wrong to think that if a game came out that was like comparable, like, okay, let me put it this way: Citizen Kane didn't make movies art, and there's no game that's gonna.
But Sonic made video games art.
Make it stop.
You want a chili dog with that?
Have you seen this? Come on.
Oh god.
Yeah, I do want to.
Have you seen how thick he is?
My point is that there's no game that's gonna come out and magically prove to people who don't think otherwise that video games are art. And you know what I think it is?
Someone hasn't played Undertale.
It's. Somebody hasn't played E.T. for the Atari 2600. Anyways, like, for people who already, like me, who are fucking retarded and think that video games are art, there's no game that's gonna come out and like prove otherwise. And it's this weird like insecurity that video games aren't art and therefore they're like somehow shit or something, which is not true. Again, I'll go back to the point because it needs to be made. Like chess, Go, fucking Tug of War, they're all games, and they're all, well, maybe not Tug of War, but you know, Mahjong. They're all
if
really
you're on
good.
mobile, just
They're
keep
all
tapping the right side of the screen to skip past this.
Fuck! I'm sick of your shit. All fucking podcasts you've been making.
Or hit L on keyboard.
Fuck you. We'll timestamp past this.
We're timestamp past your ass.
I'm timestamping the entire thing anyways, so.
Oh my god. Yeah, good. Time pass your stupid fucking
time
shit.
pass, yeah.
Alright,
I'll pass through your sphincter. Alright.
What?
I don't know if I have anything else to say.
Stop.
Like, the other problem
Wait a
is
minute.
that, like, the other problem is that
Fill my cup.
people use it all the fucking time. It's so goddamn annoying. Like, anytime somebody uses the phrase "the Citizen Kane of gaming," it doesn't mean anything. It makes me want to fucking vomit.
Anytime anyone says making any comparison like that is just retarded.
Well, sure, like if somebody says like the Godfather of games, because really what it is,
you're the Godfather.
Is the Godfather 2 for we the Godfather of gaming?
Who's the Godfather? Who's claiming Godfather?
God.
It might be Willow. It might be. You know, any comparison like that it's never a stylistic comparison. It's always like this. It's always like, well, really, what it is it's like a prediction. It's like, oh, this game is going to be so historically impactful. When first of all, the reality is you don't fucking know that. You're making a judgment just because you happen to like this game, especially when it's about like a game that's fucking garbage. Like if anybody says, or something that's like not even noteworthy. Like if somebody says, like you could scroll through that fucking Tumblr, but probably a lot of comparisons. Like if anybody said, is it? Well, people use it a lot fucking more than that Tumblr outlines. If anybody said to me that, like,
let's see if he notices. I just definitely
let's see, like any new game, like Battlefield fucking 7 was the Citizen Kane of gaming, I'd fucking throw up. You let me hear other people, you motherfucker. God damn it.
No, why'd you notice?
But it is the Citizen Kane.
I know this from the start. I was hoping you'd stop your stupid bullshit fucking antics.
Why are you looking at Discord?
I'm looking at Discord. Whatever. Fuck you.
He needs to see that image you posted.
I don't know why you are trivializing all my discussions and arguments when I am a person who has thought the most
I am the man who knocks
about this issue. Yes, I am the man who knocks, and I'm gonna knock on your door and sell you more.
I'm the one who knocks.
Wait, what about hormones?
I'll make you an orange you can't refuse.
I don't.
I'll make you an orange you can't refuse.
Alex, are you dealing black market?
I swear on my mother.
To deprived teenagers.
Yeah.
Teenagers scare the living shit out of me.
You looking to get buff?
They could care less as long as nobody.
Testosterone.
So dark in your clothes and strike a violin.
Does anybody have anything else to say about video games? I'm done, I think.
Video games are garbage. I don't know why we did this. Like, video games are like the worst thing ever. So I don't even know why the heck we did this podcast.
I've got some closing remarks I'll make. No one else is gonna. So besides Alex's beautiful rant on that, we probably just could have made a separate video about. Yeah, you're beautiful, Tyler. Get over it.
Yeah, Tyler is beautiful.
Don't listen to him, Tyler. He pulls that move on everyone.
What?
Anyway.
Oh my god. Did someone just shoot a gun? Because Jesus.
What is this? Did I hear closing? This is from the Working Title podcast?
No. I have things to say, you are. Everyone should emulate games. There's nothing wrong with it. You should also pirate all your games. Don't buy anything.
Oh yeah. Well, that's okay.
I as T-Lumber 2000 do not support this.
I think
pirating is wrong.
Well, I think
piracy is a crime.
We touched on pirating. If we ever talk about,
would you pirate a house?
You wouldn't pirate a boat.
Why wouldn't you? And also, pirating isn't stealing. There is nothing to steal. It's all just a copy.
You're an idiot.
Right.
So if you steal someone's paper that from a copy machine, that's not illegal.
If you go and make a copy of someone's thing,
if someone makes a copy and
copyright,
if someone makes a copy of their own document, prints it out, and then you steal it, that's theft.
I really don't want to get into the legality of intellectual property. But what I'll say about like fucking pirating shit. Especially when it comes
this should be on a different. This should be on a different topic.
Like when it comes to like Steam and like I would much rather. It's actually different because like I pirate most of the shit, like movies, music, whatever. Like when it comes to you can say straight. I don't give a shit. When it comes to like games,
I missed it.
I'd actually rather fuck you. I'd actually rather like buy games on like on Steam. Then like pirate them because like one is because like sometimes pirated versions are like missing shit. I don't know why. That's just people fucking pirating them, not doing their job.
Steam has a versions thing.
What?
I'm pretty sure Steam has a versions thing.
What? Like what? Explain this.
Like you can select older versions. Like
older versions
of
the
game.
Yo, I want myself.
Like you can go back to other versions of the game.
What I'm saying about pirated games is that I'd rather buy them because when I pirate them, sometimes they're not complete. I don't know why.
Well, that's just if you're getting
I know.
I know. That's just your own fault.
Well, I'm too lazy to try fucking 5 million, so I usually just try a couple.
Just be smart.
Exactly, that's what I do. I just buy the game unless it's too expensive. And the other thing is like this being on Steam has perks. Like you get to see
achievements.
Well, yeah, shit like that. I mean, and achievements isn't. I mean, there are perks to it. If it's an old game, of course, I'm going to emulate it. But anyways, I think we'll probably say pirating if we ever talk about anime, though. But
how to use the modifier.
All right, Matt, you want to say some shit? Because people.
No, I said whatever. All right, Nate, make your closing remarks.
Yeah,
All right.
you got this.
No, I need to be the last one.
Okay,
you are the last one.
Yeah, you are the last.
Am I the last one?
Hold on.
Does anyone else have anything?
Yeah, anyone got anything to say?
Did you make your remark, Willow?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
that's what we were just talking about, dumbass.
Oh, I thought that was Alex.
All right, then yeah, okay, we're good.
All right.
All right, I just want you guys to know, this was our first podcast. It was a fucking shit show.
First and the worst, baby.
And basically, fuck.
Yeah,
Alright,
don't expect another podcast because Tyler won't even edit this one.
Yeah, so now that nothing's
I don't have
been
any
said,
problem.
I want to do.
I just want you to bleep out what I said. Like, just do a bunch of bleeps.
No, it's just gonna be entirely removed. It's
No, I
just
wanna-
No, just do a bunch of bleeps.
Fine, just for that part, I might.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next time
That's
I want
what
to
I
really. I want to do a fetish cast, definitely.
I'm not
do
joining
too.
for that.
I do
Yeah,
too.
alright,
No.
Good.
We'll join that.
Yeah, no, I'm not joining that
Yeah.
one.
I will happily
hush my
join
children.
that.
Tyler, you don't have to be honest. Dude.
Come on, Tyler.
I'm not even gonna edit it.
Kyle, you gotta talk about how you like fucking horses.
All of you, shut up.
I don't.
Oh my god.
Mark's not invited to the fetish.
No, shut up. So we're gonna make this remark as well. Oh god, my mic just peaked. Thanks,
Whoa.
Paul.
I'm peeking.
Basically, you peaked a long time ago, Nate. I appreciate. Basically, there's no consistency. In who's gonna...
Oh fuck! Hell yeah, I did.
I peaked in high school.
I know. I wish I could for people who peaked in high school. It's called CrossFit.
I didn't peak in high school, bro.
Thank you, Nate. I made that joke earlier and no one got it.
Are we just making bad jokes now?
No, Willow,
Are we just
it's 'cause it
making
was
bad
you.
jokes now?
I made it. No, my jokes are phenomenal, and they're the only thing that keeps this group together. Anyway,
okay, I was on a flight the other day, and the
anyway, to talk over the
stewardess
barely
came over
keep your
and asked if I wanted
relationship
anything.
together.
What relationship? Why would I have a relationship? I just abandoned people for 8 months. Anyway,
That's what I'm saying.
Basically,
What can I say except you're welcome?
You're gay. Oh.
Basically, the people who are on this podcast can be incredibly inconsistent because everyone's got weird and fucked up schedules, and everyone hates each other here. So basically, there's a good chance that you might get a completely
There's
different
only one
people.
hated person in this Discord, and it's Musicbot.
Well,
It's the Musicbot.
Wait, what about Mark?
Musicbot hates us. He hates us, and we
my
hate
fucking
him.
God, Tyler, fucking shut up. If we ever do like
Excuse you, I don't want to shut up.
I wonder if that was
different
coincidence
people.
or if
Definitely
Mark
not
actually got
Tyler,
offended.
but like it'll definitely be
Oh, no,
different
he's not.
people.
Oh no, he's not.
Oh my god, it's
Was that-
rhythm.
Was that coincidence or did Mark actually get offended?
We're fucking done. He probably did.
No, he definitely got offended, dude. He thinks everyone actually hates
Tyler,
him.
yeah. So Tyler, you want to do the closing here?
What am I closing? Am I closing a door? My
I don't know.
door's
Wrap
closed.
this thing up.
Oh my god.
Thank you for listening to the DankBruv podcast. We'll see you next time. Bye.
A working title. Fuck.
That's it.
That's
That's it.
it. That's where you
We're
cut.
done.
Where I
Oh my
clapped, you
God.
cut. Where I clapped, you cut.
We're not doing another clap.
No,
sync.
I clapped. I clapped already.
Good job, boys. Good job.